as you can see, there was quite a lot of gear that I had to put on. Every time I go riding, I make sure I go head to toe. Helmets, jacket, gloves, riding pants, riding shoes. Especially in this fairly hot and humid weather in Singapore, it's always a chore. But I think you owe it not to yourself only, but to your family members and your loved ones to actually be safe. So I guess the question is it worth all the effort and a slight discomfort? To me, I think it is, especially if you enjoy this hobby or this sport. It's something worth considering for your family members. Well, I thought I'd do a review now of the Hit-Air MX8 mesh jacket, since I've gotten it for nearly a month, actually slightly more than a month, and I've been using it every time I go for a ride. So I thought I'd give you a rundown on what I feel about it, any things to consider if you're thinking of buying one of these. Okay, material. I think this material is pretty good. Mesh is actually quite fine, and it's soft to the touch, soft to the skin, so no issues there. As opposed to some mesh jackets, they can actually be quite abrasive, I think. But on the other hand, because it's actually a bit less, because of the mesh that's more fine, or more mesh that's finer, more fine, whatever. There's actually less air passing through it. So I realized that I've discovered that you need to travel at least 15 kilometers per hour to 20 kilometers per hour before it actually makes sense. Before air actually goes through the jacket mesh properly, and you can feel it. So it's okay if you're riding and moving along, but if you're stuck in traffic, it might be a bit of an issue, because that's going to mean that you actually have no air actually going through your jacket. The other thing about fit is that this jacket is a medium-sized jacket, mainly because if it was large, then it would have been, the sleeves would have been too long, and the rest of it would be a bit more baggy than what I think should be for a protective jacket. This is a more snug view. The sleeve length is actually just right. It's perfect. The sleeve length is perfect. The only thing about it is it's a bit more snug around the tummy area. So this is something I discovered. If it's a bit too tight or too snug, air doesn't actually get through it very easily. So I realized that because if I tuck in my tummy, right? If I tuck in my tummy, I can actually feel more air going through. So I guess the other alternative is for me to lose that weight, that extra tire around my waist, as it were. As for weight, this is not a light jacket. It's a bit heavier than most mesh jackets, but I guess you can't compare it with mesh jackets. You need to compare it with other airbag jackets. But if you compare it with a mesh jacket, which we are using right now, definitely a weight consideration. This is actually heavier than existing jacket. However, I would say that once you put it on and you're riding, you actually won't feel the weight anymore.
So what are my final thoughts on the Hit-Air MX8 mesh jacket after more than a month of use? Firstly, we talk about fit. I'm 88 kilograms, about 1.7 meters tall, and I'm wearing a size M. As I mentioned during my ride, the sleeve length is good, the torso length is also good, and the only thing was it's a bit tight around the waist, which is actually my fault. Comfort. The material used is good. it might get even softer after some use. So I haven't used it long enough to be able to tell you that. But maybe after a while, a year, maybe I'll look back and do another review. It's not as rough as other mesh jackets because the mesh in this case is a lot finer than some. It is comfortable to the touch, but it also means it is slightly less breathable. You need to go at a speed of around 20 km per hour before you can feel the air going through the mesh. Next, installation and use. There is a need to install it properly, but the thing that you need to remember is buckle up. This is something I constantly catch myself and forgetting to buckle up, and without doing that, it's actually quite pointless. Final thoughts, it's a little bit heavy, but after putting it on and riding, I think you don't really feel the weight anymore. It can get a bit warm if you're in the start-stop traffic, so it takes a bit of discipline to put on the jacket every time you go out, because the temptation is that you want to leave it at home, and why wear it since it's going to be so warm? But I guess if you're watching this video, it means that you are concerned about your safety, and this airbag jacket is actually quite a good addition to your riding gear. But if you think that this airbag jacket is not your cup of tea, I think you should be at least wearing some sort of armored protection, some armored jacket, and there are many more out there that are cheaper and even cooler. So it is very important that you at least be wearing some sort of armor or protection. I always tell myself that yes, it is warm, it is hot sometimes when I'm wearing it, but it will be a lot hotter when my skin touches the road. So thank you for watching. Hope I have helped you make a decision on whether to purchase the Hit-Air MX8 mesh jacket. Thanks for watching.